Good morning, good evening, wherever you may be, whatever part of the world you may be in, whatever language you speak. Welcome to this live transmission of the February 23rd Atlan Internet Radio AIR7 edition of The Next Dimension with your host, as always, Dr D-Railz, and co-host, Master Tibor, the fearless Archon Slayer, man of reckless abandon and of moderate severity. Coming up this week, we have some breaking weird news from all over the slushy, muddy outskirts of our galaxy in our blue oblique spheroid. Please allow me to bombard the listeners with 3 hours of rock and roll, breaking weird news, and a Rastafari reggae break at 11 after 11 for you weary robot fighters out there in Radio Land. Coming up this week on The Next Dimension, we're checking out news here off of drudgereport.com, Rense.com, Al Jazeera News, South China Morning News. We found some anomalies on the map near Atlan there. We'll get to that. The giant number 3 we found. This and more coming up. Looks like we got a little bit of rain out there on the base there, outside cameras there. And if you're receiving this transmission, you are the resistance against the solid-state panopticonic technological socialist regime that seeks to engulf your very soul with a transhumanist agenda by using their platforms Zamazog, Screwtube, and Fakebook. And last time I checked, this is a rock and roll show.
We are free of planet's atmosphere. Prepare to launch plague missile. I obey.
Necessary for me to compute a suitable route as we proceed.
What? Come on, K9. You can do it.
Reactor makes the Earth, it's Cohagen secret. Let's go. Reactor makes the Earth, it's Cohagen secret. Let's go.
Where's this reactor come from?
Aliens build it.
Aliens? You sure about this?
Ask goals, reach the secret underground kingdoms, complete access to the industrial data grid interface. Now I don't even know what that shit means. But I didn't need to ask you about it, because I like it. I like it a lot.
I like it. I like it a lot. Passcodes, secret underground passcodes. was some Ozzy Osbourne with Randy Rhoads while Randy Rhoads was still around. So we got some on the news computer here. Hopefully we're gonna flip it over to the Drudge Report and we're gonna pick something here. You never know what we're gonna do on Atlin Internet Radio here.
The reactor makes air that's Cohagen's secret.
This one's off of the Sun. Tibor found this one. Zombie rat cyborgs controlled by the human mind in Frankenstein-style tests. This is off the Sun, so you know it's real. When the human manipulator... this is the one moving rats through a maze by using thought. So they probably just got an Atari Mind Link from the 1970s there and just hooked it up using electrodes, and they got looks like a rat here with a glowing LED light on its head, and it's going through a maze. Of course it's going to be electroshock to want to go through the maze or whatever, but yeah, vermin to what instead of Y2K, V2K. Oh yeah, we got voice to skull technology on the show. Yeah, with they had that in the 70s. They could have auditory speaking voices inside your head. It's been declassified. I think we had a clip off of that from Rense. Good old Rense. We're gonna have to proceed with caution on this one. I wouldn't have picked this one right off the bat for the first news story.
Proceed with all caution. This territory will be classified as hostile. It is understood. Alert! Excessive electrical charge reaching.
Yeah, you put electrical volts in anything and it'll make it do stuff, but I don't know, this doesn't seem conclusive to me. It's about the size of two Rubbermaid containers and they just got electrodes hooked to the rat's head, so I don't really like anything about this.
They're little electric hats.
Yeah, their electric hat is probably invasive. They probably drilled wires into its brain to make it do that. It doesn't really seem like it's even coherent or whatever, because it's the size of the thing. I don't know, this is just brutal, man. Anyway, they're doing this type of experimentation. Where's the laboratory here so people can write in or whatever the hell they want? Where is it? Somewhere in the UK. Researchers up. Where's the top thing? Scroll it to the top. Down a little bit. Down some more. Stop there.
Oh, it's right there. China.
Zhejiang University. Yeah, okay, scroll it down a little bit because it doesn't look very humane. Okay, up. Scroll it up and stop it there. Up a little more. Up more. Stop. Researchers. No, it doesn't say. Damn it. Anyway. They're torturing rats. It's horrible. It's pretty damn horrible. Is there anything else on the Drudge Report there so we can get the listeners a little excited in something else other than, maybe like a robotic cheetah or something?
I apologize for a terrible thing to start, but I find nice nostalgic one now.
Yeah, let's switch it. Okay, we got a robot cheetah here on the treadmill. If you're turning up the treadmill.
Go, you monkey boy, go! He's pretty good.
So there's a 70 or 80% chance that these rats might not make it.
You will be retro-rocketed to the predesignated position. Then begin re-entry sequence to destination.
Hey, I ever tell you about time when I knew these guys who had friend with old gas station, and they have gorilla living in gas station, and gorilla drinks beer, and he smokes cigars, and best thing is he had old Cadillac out back, and he used to go and sit in the Cadillac and have a good time smoking cigars. I ever tell you that story?
No, that sounds like a really good story, though, and I like it when animals are, they're having
nice
a good time,
place.
relaxing. You know, they can have even in those Chinese zoos. Sometimes you got smoking monkeys and stuff. That's pretty cool.
Well, this guy,
When they go, they don't know where he gets the smokes, and people give him lighters all the time and everything because it's like jail for these animals in these zoos or whatever, right?
He had fridge. He had fridge with beer inside.
Yeah, the monkey had his own beer fridge. That sounds awesome. It's not like the Architects of Fear or whatever the hell they're doing to these. If you implant electronic devices into anything's brain, it's obviously going to turn left or right when you put electrical impulses into it. Whether it's a thought-controlled device or a TV remote control, it's not very impressive. These guys should get their funding pulled. I mean, what are they trying to do here? I mean, like,
Don't forget.
Should that be outlawed, or aren't animals going to get any equal rights here anytime soon?
It's in China. China don't care about such things.
Yeah, well, China's the forerunner for all our 5G technology, and basically they're doing the same thing to people instead of without electrodes into their brains, just with 5G electrodes, basically, and flickering screens controlling everyone like a cybernetic organism. Can you believe it? If you grew up in this day and age, and if you were just a child and someone gave you a cell phone or whatever, what the hell? You'd be a cybernetic organism by now, you know? Like, these corporations are stronger than governments, and they're just showing this to you to desensitize you.
You ever heard of a fellow named Maurice Strong?
No, what's he up to?
He used to be head of Ontario Hydro. Then he became big Earth Father and moved to China, where he is now setting up model place for New World. China is model for New World, thanks to Maurice Strong. Maurice Strong is architect of Agenda 21.
Yeah, Agenda 21 is a Malthusian concept. There's not enough anything to go around for the entire population of the planet, so they have to severely reduce it by slow kill.
It's like Club of Rome.
I never seen Club of Rome or any of those new TV shows or anything, but we're just doing the best we can with our clips, our wits, and our psychokinetic powers.
You should have heard Jukebox Johnny last night. He was playing Psycho Billy.
I will show you why I am the most powerful practitioner of psychokinesis and telepathy in the world.
I wasn't asking you. What hit me, K9?
A self-generated psychokinetic blast master on a wavelength of 338.79 micropars with ochre interference patterns reaching a peak power level of 5347.2 on the Vantala psychoscale.
543.72?
Affirmative, master.
That's what I thought.
That more can come at any moment. Alan, the laser weapon. Use it only as an emergency. Is there anything you want to say before?
Wait. Can it really work?
Alan, there are no absolutes. You know that better than anyone. I put your probability of success at 70, 80%.
If you're listening to The Next Dimension, you are the forerunner, fighting the war against a solid-state intelligence from another dimension. You are the resistance.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
The reactor makes air. That's Cohagen's secret. Let's go.
Where's this reactor come from?
Aliens build it.
Atlan. Aliens built it in Atlan Air. It's just up ahead. February 23rd, 2019. The Next Dimension. You just heard Prong, past of least resistance. Before that, we had Paranoid by Ozzy when Randy Rhoads was still alive. Tibor picked a gross news thing at the beginning, and I was like, "You!" You're freaking put rats with... They're doing stuff to rats, and I didn't play a rat. You thought I was going to play a rat round and round or something, didn't you? Because I was prepared.
You took path of least resistance.
Yeah, the rat did. So I didn't get zapped as much, the poor damn thing. Man, whereas Sonic the Hedgehog used to free robots. Well, actually, he didn't free the robots. He freed the robots by destroying the robots and freed little animals inside the robots. I think that's what Sonic the Hedgehog did. Yep. And yes, you've had 1,000 years to rid yourselves of this evil. Now you've only got 3 hours!
1,000 years to rid yourselves of this evil, and now all you've got are 3 hours.
Guaranteed 3 hours of breaking, current, cutting edge, weird, strange news from all over the slushy, muddy outskirts of the galaxy and all around our blue oblique spheroid. This next one, it's about filthy robots.
Love droids. Love droids.
So, where's the Swedish feminists demand the state to ban dangerous sex robots. Sex robots and sex dolls reinforce the view that women are objects and normalize men's violence against women. Feminist Swedish organization claims they're demanding legislation targeting technology that reproduces ideas about exploiting women's bodies. 3 organizations, 3 women's lobbies, the National Organization for Women's Shelters, Young Women's Shelters, ROKS, ROKS, as well as the empowerment organization known as Unizon. It sounds like Amazon. They should just take the word Amazon and just take it away from Bezos there. Little Bezos with your Zamazog fulfillment centers. You don't even call them factories. Your 64,000 Kiva-style robot workers that run on magnetic tape, that shove packages, squish cans of bear spray, make humans work in horrible conditions that are not even like... The robots are even miserable working there. Yeah. So once again, I was completely ready for the show and train wrecked it again. I forgot my little charging thing for my No Friendo. My other background clippy thing's just dying here. It's got a flashing red light on it that looks like plastic explosives. I would never take it at one of these No Friendo things on a plane. Back to the story here. Sex robots have the appearance attributes typical objectifying, sexualized, and degrading attitude to women found in today's mainstream pornography. Women are asking why men are willing to pay tens of thousands of dollars for a robot that obeys their smallest command. What do you mean their smallest command? The feminists ask rhetorically. That's crazy. A female robot cannot say no to something that the man wants if she's not programmed to do so, the feminists complained. What the hell are they talking about? Tibor, you picked this one. Let's hear some stuff here.
Well, I'm very mystified that the women are threatened by the machine. I'm mystified. I think that it could be a very good thing for men to take out their travesties and their frustrations on the machine instead of the human. I would think that would be better for everybody.
I just think they're just trying to shock and scare the hell out of everyone with, I don't know, I don't care what kind of, if they dress up like...
They don't want anybody to have
I don't
a good
care
time.
if they dress up like Corporal Klinger or whatever in their bedroom or whatever. I just don't want to hear about it. You know what I mean? They do all this stuff with these robots. It's no different than, doing it with a hunk of plastic or whatever the hell they're doing.
They have electronic brothel in Toronto. They were looking for unit cleaner. It's like old job I used to have, pinball cleaner.
What, like a towel boy?
Like towel boy, yes.
Yeah, that's pretty horrible.
Not going to apply, huh?
No, I don't think so. So we got a story from Duncan, British Columbia. It's about a guy that built a spaceship in his backyard, he found this old train in the woods when he was like 20 years old, and he knocked a pathway to it and restored it, and it's in a museum now, this train engine. Supposedly this is a real story going around, and I just heard about it last week. You know what I mean? It's about this Granger fellow. We'll be talking about that later.
Very nice young man with wonderful handwriting. Leaves good note for parents.
Yeah, some pretty strange stuff.
Did you know that Cowichan Valley is #1 place for UFO reports?
I think that's what they say, or is that what they say for, like...
I think when they say that, they mean that everybody around there is crazy, but I don't know.
Well, I'm not sure. There's a Esquimalt, the military base down there, and there's...
Remember Bunker? We do... One thing I love to do is do the Google around. And fly all around with the Google plane. And I look and I see on Mountain, South Vancouver Island, not too far away, I see Bunker. Mysterious Bunker, near Rich People Place. Looks like place where people dive into mountain in times of stress. Maybe it's true, I don't know.
Wasn't it Mount Prevost they found pieces of his car?
Yes.
They found pieces of his car, and there's, I think it was an older, I would like to say Eastern European family or couple that was listening late at night around. During the thunderstorm, they heard a huge explosion.
He went to Bob's for lunch. Want to play a clip for you if you like?
Yeah, we'll play it in a bit here. We got to get some rock and roll and stuff happening here, though, too. This is a rock show.
How come they want to cut off your head anyway? I mean, usually they just off people around here.
Long story.
Well, I'm going to be around until I get paid, so...
I can carry nearly 80 gigs of data in my head. 160 if I use a doubler. Trouble is, somebody's stuck in a lot more than that, and I don't know how to get it back out.
It's like the doctor telling you you're going to be dizzy, you're not going to be able to walk, and now I'm dizzy and don't really know who I am, and I'm thinking, man, I'm about to lose consciousness. I'm conscious now as a society, as a culture, we're conscious, and the doctor, and those of us that are awake are the doctor, but we're also the patient. We're all in this together. We know what this is.
Yeah, I'm awake. So is most of our listeners out there. You're listening to AIR7 of Atlant Internet Radio. Oh, were you playing something there? I can't hear what you play sometimes. Oh, Gorn! Oh, God! I can't get enough. You know, sometimes I just sit down and people catch me watching Gorn. So here's a clip. Me and Tibor were watching some Gorn earlier. How far did you play? You take these darn earphones off. I can't hear the Gorn. The reptile. Gorn can bench over 783 kilograms. Captain Kirk, no match for the Gorn. 25-pound boulder bounces right off his chest. This is off the original series.
You're not knowing your fluids. This is
Oh
battery
my
fluid.
God!
He is bleeding to death.
He's bleeding to death. You do not know your fluids. That is battery fluid. Okay, let's do this one since we did the rat one anyway. We'll do this one. It's on RT, right? And there'll be a clip and everything. We're going to talk about how this guy disappeared. The guy that did the CRISPR thing. I'm not talking about the thing at the bottom of your fridge. That's not a story yet until Skynew takes over your fridge and wants to... The CRISPR in the fridge drawer tells the lettuce that turn the thermostat up in the house or whatever so it can work harder because it wants to show you how hard it works.
Fridge stinks. Time to order baking soda.
Yeah. That's what it's coming down to. It's going to be like, go on vacation. The future home of tomorrow. The future home of tomorrow can run everything for you.
Government finds out you're eating too much yogurt.
What? Or when are you eating too much yogurt? So this story's about CRISPR.
Super babies.
Genetically edited Chinese CRISPR babies may have mental superpowers, researchers warn. I'm all tangled up in these cords here. The genetically modified Chinese twins, both resistant to HIV last year, may also have mental superpowers to their creator has kept quiet. A cognitive superiority that could kick off a genetic arms race, according to new research. These things are named too. They're named Lulu and Nana. The genetically modified Chinese twins reportedly born HIV-resistant courtesy of the CRISPR gene editing tool may also have been born with markedly superior mental abilities linked to the same gene edit. New research has confirmed that deleting this gene, the same modification performed on the girl's DNA, significantly improves cognitive learning and memory in mice and men. Well, I'll tell you, these CRISPR kids, when they grow up, they're going to have the best of the best food and everything, so they could claim anything they want. Say they're smarter, because they will be smarter and better educated than normal kids out there. They'll probably get a better chance. But who knows, down the road, you start messing with genes and everything, you're just going to screw it up. Look, Levi Strauss invented genes, and now look, they can barely hold together now. My knees are ripped out of these genes. You can't fight robots in these genes. Levi Strauss would be pissed off. You know what I mean? Can you believe this stuff?
It's future now.
So what other news did we have? We had tons. We got a bunch of stuff we never even got to last show. Let's go hit up the Drudge Report. Let's go scope it down here. What do you got here? Scientists fear end to mankind not decades away, but much sooner.
He's very happy.
The sun, that's more happy news. We're playing this happy music in the background, too, because it's all happy, happy, joy, joy.
Another one says,
right?
Ancient Egypt DNA gave empire super strength.
Not that show, Super Strength, because they they totally failed there.
They got a big head.
Yeah. So it looks like ancient Egypt DNA gave the Egypt Empire super strength, reveals expert. The Roman era lasted around 500 years from the ascension of Julius Caesar to her teenage ruler Romulus Augustus. Augustulus. By this timeline, the UK in its current form is middle-aged, with Ireland joining England, Wales, and Scotland in 1801. So how long does humanity have left? Not too much longer if you're messing with those damn supercomputers and building Terminators at the rate you're doing right now. There's going to be one huge war against the robots. I am not joking. You know why they're hiding the deleted... Okay. There's an extended intro for a certain movie, and it talks about something that's important. I'm just going to bring it up right now. So you kids know what the hell happened with the robot war. The robot jihad, okay? I was there. I was fighting in the front lines. I've been through it before. You don't have to believe me. You just have to wait.
In the year 6041, before the reign of the Padishah emperors, The universe was ruled by thinking machines with human minds, computers, and conscious robots. The people deteriorated into a state of apathy. Then they became victims and slaves of other men with machines. Finally came the Great Revolt, the religious crusade against the machines. After the Great Revolt, human beings were forced to develop their minds. Thus, mental training schools were established. These schools would change the history of the universe.
Big fans of Terminator, and have expressed that many times. And so I have been a fan of the music. So we checked into what it would be like to do a video together, or to get some of the music.
What worked out really cool is we wanted to put out a version of the song, You Could Be Mine. We shot a video for it. We filmed the show in the Ritz, and then, you know, I guess Arnold was flying back from Congress. I'm going, I want to be in the video. We hung out really. We got along really, really well. We gave the whole band jackets from the movie, and these great French leather biker jackets, right, with bullet holes everywhere.
No problemo.
In case you don't know, they steal jobs from men. That's why the government always protects them. They work for nothing, and on account of that, families gotta live out in the barracks and eat raw yeast mush. Decent, hard-working families. We'd smash up all the robots if I was boss, I tell you that.
Obviously, this is the kitchen. All modern appliances, brushed metal, all brand new.
What's this do? Oh, what's that
Don't you ever touch people's stuff! What kind of manners do you have? You know I touch the stuff first.
And if you look over here...
What is this, a creature in here?
Oh, yes, that.
That's a creaturezoid!
There are only two in the known universe!
Caught it, and it will eat your skin!
Come on and get me. What's the matter? Too faggy to come and get me?
Come on, Shake.
So sick.
Drag me out of here, come on.
Why, come out and get me! Why did the solid state panopticonic technological intelligence from another dimension?
Why are rules preventing us from feeding impoverished cultures? How is there a law that states if we build a man from wires and metal, the man who will never grow old, who will never feel the heat of a star, or the
will never feel the heat of this microwave?
How is the creation of such an incredible individual considered unnatural?
How is the creation of such a wire-filled individual considered such an aberration to humanity?
On these tapes are recorded what one says on one track, what one
the lily wave.
on another track, and what one does on a third track.
The mind wipe
these are endless loops, and one tends to repeat these again and again and again. We will illustrate by using repeating words, repeating sentences, and repeating ideas, how one can get involved in such repetitional processes, and what sort of traps blind us.
Give it some space. You're making it nervous. That is one pissed off weapon. No, it's just a machine.
Moving right along here. Guaranteed we have some more breaking, cutting, edge, weird news from all over the muddy outskirts of a galaxy and a blue oblique spheroid here off of thedrudgereport.com, yes. And this one's off of Bonita Springs Golf Resort. Get something going here. All right. Bonita Springs Golf. Gator jumps up, catches ball, golfer says. There are more than 1 million alligators in Florida. Alligators are the state reptile and were threatened with extinction in the late 1960s. Like that last clip we had when me and Tibor were watching some Gorn. Alligators lounging along golf courses, lakes, is common Florida sight, but rarely does one join the game. Joanne and Len Sadowski were playing a local couples tournament on Saturday when she had a bad tee-off on hole number 2 at the Bonita National Golf Club. I shanked the ball to the right, and it was heading to the water, she said. It was close to the gator's head. He saw it, jumped, and caught it. Well, she shot it right to the damn gator. Of course he's going to grab it and eat it. Why would you... He shot it right by the gator's head. Of course it's going to grab the ball. He thinks it's a bird.
He thinks it's golf egg.
Yeah.
It's egg of golf bird.
But he should have tried to get it.
Probably flamingo.
Damn, alligator got my hand. I had that clip somewhere.
He said one funny thing. He said it saved him from hazard penalty.
He would have got a water hazard penalty. How far does he have to drop it away from the croc, though? Isn't it 1 meter away from where the croc was?
Yes.
Oh, man, that's awesome. Yeah, that's a good way to lose your whole arm.
He said, I've seen them with fish or turtle in mouth, but never a golf ball.
Yeah, well, it's bound to happen. Mess around on a golf course long enough, there's little animals and stuff, and you're supposed to preserve nature and stuff. That's probably not good for his gizzard, all them golf balls.
These gigantic reptiles have rebounded in recent decades. Scientists estimate there are more than 1 million alligators living across the Sunshine State. They can grow to be 14 feet long and weigh more than 1,000 pounds. Alligators are found in all 67 counties in Florida and in practically every freshwater system, but they can be hard to spot.
They blend in good.
Yeah, they blend in good with the rough there. You can't tell. Well, you gotta expect that if they're down in Florida, they know about stuff like that. Giant lizards, reptiles, or whatever you want to call them. They don't mess around.
There is not one universe. There are many. A multiverse. We have the technology to travel between universes. There is not one you. There are many. Each of us exists in present time in parallel universes. There was balance in the system, but now a force exists who...
Finally,
Back in 1965, Sports Illustrated said I was going to be the next Arnold Palmer.
Yeah, what happened?
They wouldn't let me play on the Pro Tour anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry. Because you're black?
Hell no. Damn alligator bit my hand off.
Oh, my God!
Yeah, tournament down in Florida. I hooked my ball in the rough down by the lake. Damn alligator just popped up. Cut me down in my prime. He got me. But I tore one of that bastard's eyes out, though. Look at it.
A crocodile which had bitten it off. The crocodile severed Shang Puyu's forearm at the Shaoshan Zoo in the southern city of Kaohsiung as the veterinarian tried to retrieve a tranquilized dart from the reptile's hide so he could give it medication. As Chang was rushed to the hospital, a zoo worker shot 2 bullets in the crocodile's neck to retrieve the forearm. A doctor at the Kaohsiung hospital told that Chang's arm was chopped off above the left hand.
Damn alligator bit my hand. Oh, my God! Yeah.
We don't want to start a new conspiracy theory. You know, I joke about stuff sometimes. Like, yes, I'm a reptoid, or yes, I'm this or that. And it actually says Jones admits it. He is a reptoid, or he is a... Charlie Sheen and Alex Jones have come out and admitted they are Vatican assassins. Or, oh, our pressure's getting to them. They came out and admitted they work for the Pope or whatever, or they work for Israel. No, it's that it's funny. It's funny to say that I'm a black magic master assassin of the Pope. The guy that actually says that, and I don't want to give him attention just because it's so nasty, but I probably should. I actually found a video clip somebody sent me where the guy that says I'm a Vatican assassin, warlock, commander, ruler of the 12th Goblin Fleet, says that the atomic bombs, you ought to ask him, I'm not kidding, that the atomic bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki were Jesuit priests up in Foo Fighter flying saucers doing black magic rituals, firing power beams down. Yes. Now, that's hilarious. That is hilarious, man. I'm gonna be honest right now and admit it. I'm actually 17 trillion years old. I'm actually a reptoid Vatican assassin, and I was actually there at Hiroshima and Nagasaki, out of the bottom of the flying saucer with Louis Farrakhan, firing mega beams down on them.
This is what a patriot looks like. This is what a human sounds like. I got red-hot blood pumping through my heart, boy.
Foolish.
I like to eat meat. You're very foolish for coming at me and Tibor, the panopticonic, technological, socialist regime controlled by solid-state intelligence robots from another dimension. Well, you're listening to The Next Dimension with Dr D-Railz.
Quite frankly, I am like an ape. I can pull somebody's head off. I've got ape-like strength. I'm King Kong, baby. I'm not ashamed of my simian nature.
You got to get that ape-like strength happening. If there's a shooter, you got to gut up like the old school stuff. Get a gut up, charge him, and take him out.
Just like the people at that island with the globalist killer, cowering and hoping he wouldn't kill them. They'd have done better to, hide behind a rock and, run up behind him and, at least if he's going to shoot you, get your adrenaline going. Believe me, you turn your adrenaline on and, you're going to take some hits, but unless they're absolutely placed perfectly, you're going to get even more fired up when those bullets start hitting you. You're going to find that real ape power all of us has got to actually ape power all of us has got to actually tear arms.
They do. They want to get rid of all radio. Why? It's too free. Yeah, you can't.
The alcohol of the radicalism is heavier, but no more so than
anybody
steel or iron. We've been able to breach it then with various tools.
You think maybe I could get something from this place? Like a souvenir? Like just to have?
Like in my
something
car,
cool, you know?
Not here,
Anybody
stop
in
somewhere
the
else
world.
because,
There's always another pawn shop. Oh, okay. I just, You know, I thought that robot over there looked pretty cool, you know?
Oh, it looks cool, huh? That's why you want it?
Yeah, you know.
They want to put everything satellites. They really want to get rid of all radio.
A layer beneath the hull, or rather, a series of tissue-like layers extending to the interior of the ship. In a sense, it's like the relic's epidermis, but when we attempted to penetrate it with machinery, we found that it secretes a highly acidic compound. Every device exposed to it is instantly corroded. After countless failed attempts, one zoonoid returned with the Guyver units, but disintegrated immediately upon exit. So you see, that's what I meant when I said no one had successfully entered the relic.
Asked where it went. Dr. Banzai replied, vast chasms of hissing swamp, spurts of flame. And gurgling rock formations.
Lithium is no longer available on credit.
The outer hull of the relic is resilient, but no more.
Man of reckless abandon, of moderate severity, fearless Archon slaying Tibor. I indulge the idea that one day I too will shift gears into increasing my robot destroying powers incrementally. Please allow me to bombard the listeners with 3 hours of rock and roll, breaking weird news, and a Rastafire reggae break coming up at 11 minutes after 11, just in case you're wondering what the heck's going on. When the ones line up on your digital clock or radio at home, get ready. Big up and get ready. Because when the digital ones on your electric clock or electric stove at home line up, grab your matches, grab your lighter, robot fighter. Because it's the Next Dimension Rastafari reggae break. Yes, it's always something we've had on the show. 3 hours is a long time to reprogram your robot fighting minds out there. Okay, what do we got for weird news here? Here, let me kick it back. It's not the reggae break yet. I'm all chilled out and everything. I'm all like, yeah, I shouldn't chill out. We'll chill out later at 11:11. The Kalashnikov assault rifle changed the world. Now there's a Kalashnikov drone. Everyone knows what the AK-47 is. This is Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. The Russian company that gave the world the iconic AK-47 assault rifle has unveiled a suicide drone that may similarly revolutionize war by making sophisticated drone warfare technology wildly and cheaply available. Well, if it's going to... It's rigged to explode! There's no seats! There's just a bomb, a camera, wings, an engine. It's white. The Kalashnikov group put a model of its miniature exploding drone on the display this week at a major defense exhibition in Abu Dhabi. That's where Garfield mails Nermal all the time, to Abu Dhabi. Maybe Nermal's a super weapon. Maybe Nermal's code for amazing bioweapon. I'm mailing Nermal to Abu Dhabi. That black helicopters would land outside your house if you said that on your spy phone. Or your Sandroid. What do you think about the AK drone?
Now you need special license to fly even small drone. So,
what's the license
I cannot
for?
have this.
What are they going to pull you over in it?
I would like to have this drone, but I'm not allowed.
It would be nice to have one without a bomb in it.
A member friend who has drone opens package, says, "Hello, drone," and drone looks at him and then flies towards military base.
Yeah, that was Captain Rory.
Yes.
Captain Rory had a drone, and it was a pretty cool drone, and he'd be really upset if he's listening right now, because the drone took off on him and went right to the military base.
Brand new.
It was supposed to be a present, a Christmas present, and
it went home.
Captain Monroe, he's not a quitter, so he went and got the other drone out and did the same thing, and oh god, that wasn't a very happy Christmas. I'll tell you. That was like, those things cost lots of money and they can get hijacked. Well, I'll tell you, your drone's out there too. The Kalashnikov drone and everything can be controlled by the Igor drone. The Igor drone has an 8 teraflop computer in its head. You know what that is? 8 teraflops? Well, it can instantly communicate with any computer or drone known to mankind. I'm sure it updates its spyware every day, you know what I mean? To find out what the passcodes are.
What about the big 3? What about the big 3?
Big 3 what?
Oh, I remember we find in the Google.
The Skynoog?
Yeah.
You found it on Skynoog? What,
big,
drones?
Yeah, no, a big 3 on Mountaintop.
Oh, yeah, we found a big number 3 near Atland. We don't know what it is. It could be a Google print Skynoog.
We have
filthy Skynoog.
We have, courtesy of good friend, we have coordinates for the drone to look. If you were to get drone, you could send up to these coordinates 596600 dot 48 north 6601617.42 west. You look right now yourself. You go look on the Google, and you will see big 3.
He's talking about Skynoog maps.
Yeah.
You go on Skynoog maps and you type in these coordinates. The number is 596600.48 north, 6601617.42 west.
You can do amazing things with the Google. It's very, very good. But it's not...
So is it real? We're not sure if it's real or not.
Looks like a scrub.
Arrakis is real. The Harkonnens are real.
You never know what it is. You never know what we're going to play next. We warned you about the 11/11 Rastafari reggae break.
This is the direction the world is going in at the present time. In our world, there will be no emotions except fear, rage, triumph, and self-abasement.
This is not the time.
The sex instinct will be eradicated. We shall abolish the orgasm. There will be no loyalty except loyalty to the party. But always there will be the intoxication of power. Always, at every moment, there will be the thrill of victory, the sensation of trampling on an enemy who is helpless. If you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever. The moral to be drawn from this dangerous nightmare situation is a simple one. Don't let it happen. It depends on you.
You leave for Arrakis.
into this room at your own risk, because it leads to the future. Not a future that will be, but one that might be. This is not a new world. It is simply an extension of what began in the old one. It has patterned itself after every dictator who has ever planted the ripping imprint of a boot on the pages of history since the beginning of time. It has refinements, technological advances, and a more sophisticated approach to the destruction of human freedom. But like every one of the superstates that preceded it, it has one iron rule. Logic is an enemy and truth is a menace.
Freedom! According to the Earth Coincidence Consciousness Office, there's no such thing as freedom. No, actually there is, but... Safety is an illusion. The door to safety is shut. There's no turning back. One man against an empire, against the demons. Safety is an illusion. There's no turning back. That last song you heard was from Tibor's Special Collection. 1984 by Spirit. Made in 1972 or 73, and it was banned.
That was Special Edition from an album called The 13th Dream, which was done in 1984. But yes, in 1970 the song was banned, and it was not allowed to be played. And then the poor band broke up, everybody went crazy. So they came back together in 1984 celebrating again.
A lot of people, a lot of musicians and performers have went crazy over the years. Who's that?
Especially when they get too close to burner.
Who is the Green Mandalici guy that lost his mind?
He got toasted coconut.
Yeah.
Yes, his name was Peter Green.
Hi, Lisa. Hi, Super Nintendo Chalmers.
He actually was a brilliant fellow, great guitarist, and very smart, but he went to party with crazy Germans in basement, and they had devil something going on down there. And after that, he was like 3-day acid trip. He never came down from ever. Sometime he would go and play with people. Bob Welch said when he was applying for a band, Peter Green came back for a little while. One time for some recording sessions, he had a piece of cheese in hair. 3 days later, cheese still in hair. So he was not taking good care of himself.
Either were the people around him either. If they really appreciate the music, maybe they could find a way to get him to snap out of it. He's a brilliant guitarist, though. Maybe he was sick of the
fingernails very long.
Some people get sick of the fame.
I think he saw too much truth. You know, the green Manalishi and the 3-horn prong or thing, 3-prong crown, this is about money. It was his spiritual insight and of Fleetwood Mac, because he went crazy. Very sad. Like Sid Barrett, very sad.
Yeah, you never know. One quick snap and it could be over.
One quick twist. It's over.
Never take drugs from people you do not know.
You should never do that chemical stuff anyway. It's going to screw with your melon. If you want something to screw with your melon, just come here and listen to the Next Dimension. Ah, well, that's better. How long was the mic dead for? How long?
It was only you
It's
were
okay.
screaming and having good dance and everything. We missed all of it. It's gone.
It's okay, I was just missing insanity.
When you were stomping, you disconnect big power cable.
Yeah, we tripped over a big power cable here in the base.
You could have had the 220 right through the foot.
Yep, good thing I got these good robot stomping boots on.
So Tibor, man of reckless abandon, of moderate severity, fearless Archon Slayer, I indulge the idea that one day, soon I too may shift gears into increasing my robot-destroying powers. Incrementally. You've had 1,000 years to rid yourselves of this evil. And now you only have 3 hours of rock and roll, breaking weird news.
Do it! Just do it!
In a Rastafari reggae break coming up at 11 after 11. For you weary robot fighters out there.
Just do it!
We're gonna play these pathetic clips.
And instead of Sneaky Snake, we got Slippery Salmon. I'm Slippery Salmon. I'm a slippery salmon. I work for scale. Instead of Sneaky Snake. Because the only thing that could top Sneaky Snake, which gave some listeners nightmares about robot, giant Google leech mamba black attack snakes, is speaking for the salmon. When I'm Slippery Salmon, and I work for scale.
Like, for the listeners here, let's get a close-in shot. And it's like you put coins in the salmon, and then it says whatever you want.
Slippery Salmon. I'm Slippery Salmon. George Soros didn't work for the Nazis. He cut Hitler's head off. Those stupid robots.
Did you ever see that documentary called They Saved Hitler's Brain?
Pardon?
Hi, Lisa. Hi, Super Nintendo Chalmers.
We got the old clips back. It's good the computer is hooked up. I thought I was talking into screaming into my own echo chamber the whole show there for a second.
I'm surprised you didn't toast foot with power cable.
Yeah, it's a big power cable. I was walking back to the nuclear processing unit there. Creo-San supplied us with.
Only way to get power out there.
Yeah, it's you want a cup of tea in 2 seconds or whatever. You put the forks in it, then you flip the switch or whatever. But I let you know we got the 220 heat and everything. You should go to that Creo-San channel. It's on ScrewTube.
He takes magnetron, hooks up to a hairdryer, and makes fancy cooker.
Yeah, he does everything.
Sure. What is your favorite Creo-San device?
The favorite Creo-San one is when they took fencing wire. Okay. Imagine these Ukrainian guys. They're in the middle of the Ukraine, a bombed-out city. I'm not sure in what town, but they go and take this fencing wire, and they must be electricians, and they put it right into the 220 on their house, and they got the fencing wire, and the whole length of fencing wire lights up red hot, and they're like, the Creo-San is the watch out, Sasha, and they laid it on the ground, and they plugged it in, and it was like standing outside a campfire they're talking about. And then they took that and they wrapped it around a stick and they made a lightsaber with it. And they're like cutting pieces of plastic up with it. And they're doing amazing things with just old microwave technology, with the old technology that they give us for cooking food and everything.
They took junk laying around Chernobyl and turned into new stuff.
Yeah, they're actually... It's impressive. And they have a lot of sponsors too.
They do crazy
They always
things.
could use new viewers because it's important for humanity.
Well, to
because
see what you
they're
can
inventing
do.
things.
It's
I mean,
like Darkman.
They invented. They took 2 pieces of silver and they put a 12-volt car battery into it, and they made hydrogen gas. And they took that hydrogen gas, a little bubble, and you can light it with your lighter, and it's a huge explosion from a tiny bit of hydrogen gas. And there's people that have made hydrogen fuel generators, and they could what's that called when you backwards compatible stuff? reverse engineer it so it works on your vehicle, so it goes into your carburetor and there's not a huge storage tank, so it won't blow up like a hydrogen bomb.
You need special stability. You must stabilize fuel.
Yeah, there's lots of different types of fuel.
Sounds good, but it blows is not good.
Yep.
We have listeners all over the world tonight.
That's excellent.
Robot fighters from 4 corners of globe, which is strange for Spear.
More humans are alive now than ever before.
The creatures that walk on its surface always look into the light,
open everywhere,
never seeing the untold oceans of darkness beyond. There are more humans alive at this moment than in all its painful history.
Proceed with all caution.
There are more humans alive in its entire pitiful history. That's why we've finally got more than 3 listeners.
No, just joking. We got millions of listeners. We know we got tons of fans.
Tonight is hot night. Hot night on the airwaves.
Yep.
Six minutes to 11.
You know why? People are starving for real information.
It's your 18-minute warning.
We are the non-fake. We are the non-fake news. But we use fake news to make non-fake news.
Sometimes we have news and we look at it and we try and differentiate. You know, we have to... we're not journalists. Well, I guess we kind of are because we have to...
We are good time Charlies. And cartoon characters.
Pretty much.
It's not like Gloom. I don't mind Doom so much, but Gloom's not.
I like
good.
that mind control clip with that Brian Tew, TEW, and neural manipulation clip. That was really good earlier in the show. And I really like that the Dune clips we had about the war against the machines. People never really got to hear that.
Must find.
Too much.
Then they became victims and slaves of other men with machines.
Don't forget 16-minute warnings for the 11:11 Rastafari Reggae Break coming up. 16 minutes to get your matches, your lighter, robot fighter, your important papers, and your documents. We're the ones lined up on your digital clock
or your electric stove at home. It's the Next Dimension Rastafari Reggae Break. In case you wonder what the heck's going on.
Came the Great Revolt, the religious crusade against the machines. After the Great Revolt, human beings were forced to develop their minds.
Proceed with all caution. This territory will be classified as hostile. It is understood.
Crashing through the brush in probably 5-10 minutes. These 2 humanoids come out of the brush and they kind of broke some of the brush off and was looking at it. And then they came straight underneath the tree and looked up at me. And I knew right then I was fingered.
They found you?
Yeah, they found me.
Can you describe them for us? Briefly what they
Yeah, they looked like 4 or 5 feet. Of course, I'm looking down at them.
Blend in with the indigenous
So
life.
they'd
Analyze their
be
weaknesses.
shorter
Prepare the planet
than
for the
they
coming
probably
madness.
are. And they had a silvery, like a one-piece a suit on.
Yes!
And it seemed like it had the joint.
Fully functional and by my side, we shall rule this world sooner than without you by my side. Not being fully...
Puffy joints, you know, on the shoulders and the elbows, and the shoulders and the elbows, and joints, puffy joints, you know, on the and the elbows and puffy joints, you know, on the shoulders.
11-11's coming up.
We got the chance.
11-11's coming up there pretty quick, so it's 7 minutes to 11. Just keep warning you. In case you're wondering what the heck's going on, because there's a little war with the machines and the rock and roll show.
After the Great Revolt, human beings were forced to develop their minds. Thus, the religious crusade against the machines. Finally came the Great Revolt. The religious crusade against the machines.
That's coming up. We got some more weird news here. Let's check it here. What do we got going on? Let's go over to the side of the base. Try not to trip over this cable again and get electrocuted here. Holy man. Oh, I think not yet. Jeez.
Flying bulldog. Researchers uncover giant bee
thought to be extinct for 3 decades.
The holy grail of bees has been discovered.
That sounds like a trigger, one of those keywords like Sesame Street, where they're trying to make you say a keyword if you're a journalist on TV so they can link up their computer or CPU things. So we're going to call it the Monty Python of bees has been discovered lurking in an Indonesian forest. We had this clip on Tibor's channel that's called Strange and Wonderful, and it has Nick Cage. What's that guy's name? Nicolas Cage? Off the Wicker Man. They pour the bees into his helmet, and it's just CGI bees, and he's like, not the bees!
A global wildlife conservation search team found and photographed Wallace's giant bee, Mega Chili Pluto, nesting in a termite mound in the forest of Tennant. He's eating termites. Let's see how big the bee is. Because I seen a bigger bumblebee here in British Columbia. Yeah, that thing's not that big. Well, it's like the size of a honeybee. Well, it's a honeybee looking one. I seen the bumblebee ones the size of a golf ball. It's got pincers on it the size of a pair of needle nose pliers. Like those ones that are kind of bent, sort of. Did he test the sting on it? That'll be the next thing. Scientists thought Wallace's giant bee was extinct till he spotted it in Indonesia last month. Well, you know what else is in Indonesia? We had almost one of the old shows was with those giant translucent daddy long legs in the cave that it's the size of like a footstool type thing. You know what I mean? It's
like the King Kong.
You can set your beer on it.
Wow.
That's how big it is.
It's huge. It's translucent.
It's got 6 legs because it's not an arachnid.
I had
6 minutes after too.
Friend from hometown back in Moldova, and he joined French Foreign Legion. Had to get out of town. He told me that one time when he was in desert, he went for water near the big water tank in the middle of the night, and there was giant spider. So he go to step on the spider,
and it did a push-up and threw him off?
It pushed him and threw him off into the dirt. It was so strong. And then it jumped on his chest.
Those things can bench like 400 pounds, those spiders. You're lucky it didn't bite down on his skull and suck out all his brains.
He's very lucky.
When he bites down on your skull and sucks out all your brains, and it tastes good. I know it tastes real good.
So if you're not standing in the road and surrendering to robots...
Surrender now and you will live. Message and obey orders written. Must stand in the middle of the street and obey orders received. Message and...
Hello.
Before the reign of the Padishah emperors, the universe was ruled by thinking machines with human minds, computers, and conscious robots. The people deteriorated into a state of apathy. Then they became victims and slaves of other men with machines.
And elbows.
Finally came the Great Revolt.
And the legs I didn't see.
The religious crusade against the machine.
Humanoids. Were you able to see their faces?
No, it was just a kind of a dark shadow. I could see the two like eyes that were looked like welding goggles to me. They were the same as welding goggles. And then the rest of the face was kind of blur. I couldn't see looking down at them.
So we were talking about that Granger guy, right? We got a clip here. Let's play that clip. Well, we got a couple minutes here. I was just thinking about it, and I was just playing a clip there about a guy getting...
And in them scratched out the word deceased and replaced it with the word departed.
So this is the note he left his parents.
Granger had left a note on his parents' bedroom door.
On his parents' bedroom door.
It was short and read, "Dear Mother and Father,
Dear Mother and
I have gone
Father,
away to walk aboard an alien ship.
I'm going to go on a
as recurring
UFO.
dreams assured a 42-month interstellar voyage to explore the vast universe.
42 months, huh?
I am leaving behind all my possessions to you, as I will no longer require the use of any. Please use the instructions in my will as a guide to help. Love, Granger." On the opposite side of the note was a map of Waterloo Mountain, 20 miles west of the property. The last person that saw him was a waitress working at Bob's Grill. He had stopped in for dinner at 6 p.m., wearing a brown knitted sweater zipped up in the front, a black t-shirt, jeans, and logger boots. The waitress thought this was odd because there was a storm on its way, and his clothes were not equipped to deal with the oncoming storm. She said that he had dined alone, paid for his bill, and left alone at 6:30 p.m. At this time, the storm had started to tear through Duncan and neighboring cities. The storm had hurricane-force winds and ended up downing power lines throughout the city and surrounding areas. The entire region was set in an ominous, impenetrable darkness. It wasn't until dawn when it would be revealed that Granger had vanished off the face of the earth. Granger was 32 years old when he went missing. He had left behind all of his worldly possessions, including the remaining $10,000 in his bank. He had driven off in his 1972 pale blue Datsun pickup and had never been heard from again. Granger's stepfather contacted police to help him find him. After an exhaustive search of hospitals, vehicle records, passport checks, and even applications for employment, not a single lead came up. It took 6 years before a clue showed up. Granger's truck had been found on a mountain near Duncan. It had been blown to bits in what is assumed to be a massive explosion, but a body or remains of a body were never found. There has been no conclusive evidence of what exactly happened.
I don't know, supposedly they found pieces of his Datsun, but I don't know, did the
VIN
numbers line up?
Because he hasn't been found.
I'll tell you, I was
Maybe
mining one time,
or committed
and I was
suicide.
digging a hole and I found a tractor one time. I'm not even joking. And it was buried 6 feet underneath the ground. And I thought it was something under there, but it was just like a tractor someone buried. You never know what could be out there. We gave you some coordinates, some latitude, longitude coordinates off of Skyneug. You guys could scope out. Coming up.
Folks, break it up. Switch to channel 2, okay? Just...
If they smoke these, you know we got a chance.
heavy as they can see his pipe smoking from here, huh?
When of course, I should have guessed instantly. It's all the fault of that woman.
Yes, Doctor? You were saying...
I was just saying, Lady Ambassador, that... Hey, Nana,
Apologies, Master. I am immobile. Apologies, Master. I was overpowered by the wolf weed. I was overpowered by the wolf weed.
Doctor, order your doctor.
Overpowered. I was overpowered by the wolf weed.
You're gonna get your joint now.
Let's find some of that weed and get back to the palace.
And now?
Sorry, Ginger, but I need the weed and...
You have no idea how sophisticated you are.
Actually, yes, I do. He all he needs is like 100 and 125 tins of really high-quality cat food, and that will distract him from the weed, I promise. He's not a bad kitty. Not that much weed, Ricky, that's good. We're trying to wean him off the stuff, not get him hooked on it. You can't get addicted to weed. You did a good thing here, buddy. I know, look at him go. I mean, he doesn't need hardly any weed, and he's all calm. I could keep you forever. Bubbles, he's not a shed kid. He belongs in the wild. You know that. Yeah, Bubs, I mean, look, we'll just take him and we'll let him go free. Just like a little test. And if he comes back, it forever was, just like the scene. It's the best thing for him, man.
And now for a smoke.
Smoke this in your pipe.
Let's find some of that weed and get back to the palace.
I shouldn't call you stoned. I apologize that. You'd have the sound of somebody who'd been smoking.
So Dr. D give you a clean bill of health?
Yes. The smoke had no permanent side effect.
Smoke this in your pipe. You burn up.
No. This is good. Smoke. You try.
Prepare to surge to sublight speed.
Yo, guys, now wall up the Empire boss.
Yes, boss, yes, boss, yes, boss. Police in helicopter, I search for marijuana. Policemen in the streets, searching for Cali weed. Soldiers in the...
And, I'm gonna load my bowl to celebrate this glorious moment.
Have a peachy day, Lieutenant.
Glory, marijuana.
One. Easy, big fella.
One love, I and I, Rastafari.
One. So Dr. D give you a clean bill of health?
Yes. The smoke had no permanent side effect.
And smoking dope.
One.
Dynamite!
And smoke.
Are you off?
I am.
I hope you have some good stuff, man.
I hope you have the sound of somebody who's been smoking.
Come on in, you psycho.
So Dr. D give you a clean bill of health?
Yeah. Smoke this in your pipe. I shouldn't call you stoned. I apologize that. You'd have the sound of somebody who's been smoking marijuana. Smoking dope.
So Dr. D give you a clean bill of health?
I want you to carry this on the road for me. And don't take no time from nobody. Just do what me tell you for you, see?
Got it.
That water bomb's so smooth, you don't realize how high you're getting. Till it's too late.
The Citizens Agency for Joint Intelligence, for Joint Intelligence, for Joint Intelligence.
Smoke this in your pipe.
Don't call King Selassie. Call it. Don't call King Selassie. Call it.
And with that get overstanding, and knowledge shall be added unto thee.
And now for a smoke.
Sandro, this is Officer Jimmy. Looks like we got 2 Rastafarians down here on I-10. Definitely some marijuana, possibly some firearms. Need 2 squad cars down here.
No. This is good. Smoke. You try. Oh. Good.
Hey, I want to ask the person, doctor, do you smoke? Have you smoked marijuana? Do you smoke? Have you smoked marijuana?
And I'm gonna load my bowl to celebrate this glorious moment. Glory, marijuana.
I shouldn't call you stoned. I apologize that. You'd have the sound of somebody who's been smoking marijuana.
No more. No less.
Golly! Knowledge found in the secret place of the Most High. Golly.
Smoking dope.
One.
And now for a smoke.
One.
2 fiery forests in the south.
What you doing? What you doing?
No.
You like this now?
This is good. Smoke. You try.
Joint.
Oh.
The Citizens Agency.
You are beginning to feel yourself slipping into the hypnotic state.
Let's find some of that weed and get back to the palace.
Set the wolf weeds on the doctor!
Oh, wait, that's all you've got on this planet, isn't it? Weeds, forest and weeds!
Set the wolf weeds on the doctor!
booked a room.
Here's a double one.
Weeds, Protestant weeds. You scratch about the food wherever you can, but you can't plow the land, can you? You can't do anything past the forests and the weeds. You can't do that,
in his, say, living room, you would have maybe 2 walls type of herb. But when I get up in the morning, I smoke this one. Lunchtime, I smoke this one.
My goodness, I'm a walking pipe bomb. Get out of my way!
So I asked him, what said, well, what's the difference?
Let's go.
He said, this one, keep me going, meditating throughout the day, and this one, bedtime, puts me to sleep. They weren't labeled or anything. He knew what was what I looking at.
Peter saw marijuana as a sacrament, essential to practicing Rastafari.
Yeah, that's legalize it. Yeah, that's the best thing you can do.
At the time in Jamaica, singing a song praising marijuana was highly risky, as being caught in possession resulted in lengthy, hard labour prison sentences.
For a smoke.
And you're gonna get your joint.
And let the bidding begin.
No.
Sure. When did you smoke your first? No, never mind. We won't go. Just kidding.
Oh.
He would smoke the herb of the earth, and he would smoke until his eyes become as red as a flaming fire. But even though his eyes would be so red, from his mouth cometh the words of wisdom that would be so uplifting.
Put that in your pipe and puff on it for a couple of minutes. I'll come right back.
What's good for you? You won't monkey around with Fred C. Dobbs.
I purchased some hemp and tried it. Just smoking hemp did more for my medical condition than all those pills the doctors were giving me.
That morning as I entered the foyer, it seemed I was the only visitor to the neglected Museum of Curiosity.
Still listening, follow these instructions if you can't get underground. Cover yourself with wet newspaper. Lie still until the blast has subsided.
Monument of work left behind, and the fact that he took a stand. He believed in his religion. He didn't care whether people made a mockery of him. He believed that you could smoke marijuana. It was a special herb. He smoked all day, every day.
Smoke, good smoke. Burn up. Water pipe. Smoke, good smoke.
I'll smoke this or else.
Look, I tell you.
You're gonna get your joint now.
This is really a massive airstrike. We haven't seen anything like this before.
I left fucking pot everywhere. I should never have smoked that joint on the third day. If I leave pot everywhere, it's going to give people the impression they're supposed to use it.
It's the KGB, Mr. Benny.
But I'll tell you the truth. I have never heard one reason that rang true why marijuana is against the law. That rang true now. I'm not talking about the reasons the government tells us, because I hope you know this. I think you do. All governments are lying cocksuckers. I hope you know that. Good. I mean, marijuana grows everywhere. It serves 1,000 different functions all over the body. To make marijuana against the law is like saying God made a mistake, you know?
Well, that settles it, man. Numbers are smarter.
I am.
And no one had to get hurt.
Hope you have some good
See, little
stuff,
dude,
man.
one peaceful hippie can't change the world.
That would be
The government tells us, because I hope you know this, I think. I'm not talking about the reasons the government tells us, because I hope you know this.
bummer.
All governments are lying cocksuckers.
Rust. But democracy different still. Rasta said guidance forever. But democracy different still. Rasta said guidance everlasting. But democracy different still.
All governments are lying cocksuckers.
X minus 13 minutes.
Goodbye. Farewell. I signed up for. It's not cool, man. What's happening? This is not the kind of orgy I signed up for, man.
Were they really inside his skull? Had they nibbled away his brain with their tiny mandibles?
You're gonna get your joint now.
Stuck. They should call you Whiplash. Nutface, spider brain, dummy, fishy fools, muscle-bound buffoon, worthless hunk of fur. I have to be brave.
And we all remember how he messed up Operation Impending Doom 1. Am I right?
I don't.
Seize that guy and throw him out the airlock. That was the wrong guy, but that's okay. I think everyone gets a point.
Now I'm going to repeat that again for those of you on the go.
Imagine a man wearing a roller towel.
The reggae break's over. So I just turned the volume up on the microphone, and I was looking for the microphone, and it was in its holder. Okay, so that end of the rapid fire reggae break there.
Spider brain, dummy, fishy fools, muscle-bound buffoon.
Oh, this is old Beastman.
Oh, the Skeletor! I don't know if the Gorn wasn't like that when I worked for the Gorn. I don't really like you the way you talk to me, Skeletor. I'm gonna go on the next dimension with Tibor and Dr D-Railz and finish off the...
Your jibber jabber.
Your jibber jabber. Yeah, okay, so the last song we did was Babylon Makes Rules by Steel Pulse, because of the Rastafari reggae break at 11 after 11. So now we're the last couple minutes here, so we get a really you, dear listener, and your will, which alone is harder than crystalline enforced plasteel, can overcome the constant, mildly annoying attacks of the solid-state intelligence from another dimension by listening to The Next Dimension with Dr. D-Railz and Tibor, the fearless Archon Slayer, man of reckless abandon, in moderate severity. I indulge the idea that one day I too will shift gears in increasing my robot destroying powers, and so will you listeners too. Incrementally. Allow me to tell you what we played. Ras Matthew, Ganja in My Brain. So that's some Congo natty there. It was Gali. That's Gali, which means Gali is another name for King Selassie. Gali, knowledge found in the secret place of the Most High. For that, we had Driver A by Buju Banton. It wasn't written down there, I had to remember it. For that, we had Revolutions of the Machine by Black Country Communion. Tibor's amazing live recording of 1984 of a band called Spirit in 1973. Or when was it, Tibor? And before that, nobody knows.
This is what a real human sounds like.
If you're listening out there, you're the resistance. Coming up, we might have more weird news. We might just talk about stuff. We might talk about the Sky Noog's transhumanist agenda. How we talked about everyone's tracking devices. We had a clip when we're from the future, when we're archaeologists and we're digging up the huge pile of cell phones, when everyone took their cell phones and threw it in a big pile because they're sick of having a tracking device they have to pay for every month. They should be paying you to carry those around.
There's new laws governing the way you can divulge information coming up. I can just imagine. They keep mildly annoying you, slowly, incrementally, over time. Oh, what was the one? Oh, something about a hologram? China develops non-lethal microwave radar weapon. Well, the micro-millimeter ray that it could spray into your house, and with using millimeter rays, it can bounce off everything in your house, and then it can basically turn your walls into a glass wall so they could see through with their technology.
It's gonna make you itchy.
China is developing non-lethal weapon system based on microwave radar technology. The weapon shoots millimeter microwaves that targets to inflict pain under the skin. Tests have shown so far the weapon left no permanent injuries or long-term physical effects. Microwave millimeter rays. Yeah, they're going to use that on protesters, probably.
They already got that.
Creosan figured that out. He took a couple microwaves apart and he made something basically the same as this, and they used their cell phone, or actually it was a walkie-talkie, to measure how much radiological interference those things make. So that thing will also disrupt cell phone signals too, and I do believe they can see through walls with it. It doesn't say anything on there about it, but I'm just speculating. Stuff I heard before listening to Jeff Rense and everything.
What do you think 5G means? What's
fifth generation?
I thought maybe it was 5 of those Masonic G's.
Well, maybe we found a 3G in that we left you the coordinates to something really strange on Sky Noogle Earth.
Ever notice the G in the Masonic symbol? And then you got the square and the compass. Kind of looks like two people screwing.
They probably did that on purpose so they could joke about it.
Yeah, they got a big joke on all of us.
They're pretty cool.
Mystic.
They're up to stuff. They got class anyway.
Well, they tell no tales. Dead man tell no tales, huh?
Well, it doesn't matter. It's just pretty cool or whatever. They're just doing stuff.
I like the Shriner hat. I could wear a Shriner hat.
I think...
and little bike to drive around on.
That's pretty cool. You can get your tractor, you drive around in a little tractor.
Special one from government.
Yeah, a special one for the parade.
Yes. It's
from Moldova. How many drac faces did your tractor cost? I think it was like 1,200 drac faces, wasn't it?
Actually, I got free. I put ad in the paper. Please, I'm looking for a woman with tractor. Please send picture of tractor. Woman come, bring tractor. I took tractor from woman. She never come back. That's how I got tractor. That's the truth.
Didn't it have the mind of a Soviet leader in it?
Nikita Khrushchev.
Because it was in the 76-year agrarian plan?
Yes, he was reincarnated into tractor.
As a matter of fact, if you send an email and if it doesn't go through, it pops back to your computer showing it didn't go through.
Yeah.
And the name of that that system that pops your emails back to you, call it Daemon. So it's called Daemon. So it's everywhere. Everywhere we are busy with occult terms, symbols, emblems, and words, and the human race has become so befuddled now we have no idea what we're doing. No.
It's difficult to know, Alex, if they're really planning to do general, because with most people you understand who don't follow the real news.
Hey, that's that guy that's got the fake Irish accent,
news.
Hey? That Watts guy?
What they're told,
What?
And that fear acts upon them. And
Watts?
they turn to government.
Which
to
what?
help them and
What?
after
What or
their
what?
children.
What?
And that's the intention of fear.
Sounds like
creation.
Abbott
And I really
Costello
think
somehow.
This is part of it too. They've
What's
had
the
this
difference
technology
between
for
Watt and
many
Watts?
years.
Since we're doing this, I'm throwing this clip out here.
Well, Watt is one and
It's
Watts is
difficult to
many.
know, Alec.
The one guy talks like an Irish guy, and the other guy's is a super smart scientist guy that's got long hair like Rense and stuff, and he kind of keeps his mouth shut. And other people ask him about Watts, and they say they're a big fan of Watts too, and he just doesn't say a damn thing about it. It's a weird thing. The Watt and Watts guy.
Two different fellows.
So that pretty much concludes this AIR7 Next Dimension.
Jordan of the bath salts puts me into space, makes me kind of hungry.
Free of planet's atmosphere. Prepare to launch plague missile. I obey.
The Daleks are going to launch a plague missile. That was a funny clip I had, hey? And the other one I played was Watts' Fear Creation, and we didn't quite get to the bottom of
It's
that.
difficult to know, Alex. So I think part of it really is to adds to the tension and the fearfulness in society in general, because with most people you understand who don't follow the real news, they follow the standard news. They do believe what they're told, and that fear acts upon them, and they turn to government to help them and look after them like children, and that's the intention of fear creation. And I really think this is part of it too. They've had this technology, I'm sure, for many years.
And here's the death brings total obliteration.
Yeah, so scalar waves and all that technology has been out since like 1994, and we're just scraping the surface of all the technology that's out there. And there's only certain people that are developing it are smart enough to see what's around them, and they can be using it. But I'll tell you, the only arms you should be worrying about arming yourself are the arms, left and right arms in your body, because your will alone is stronger than steel, stronger than plasteel, stronger than crystalline enforced plasteel. And you're not isolated, robot fighter, to be destroyed. You will overcome.
You need a super soaker with seawater. This kills the robot, rots him out good.
You know what actually works better?
No,
Is
tell
that
me.
if you have sea monkeys in that seawater.
Beautiful idea.
Yeah.
You can, monkey boy.
Oh yeah, that Buckaroo Banzai and Yo-Yo-Dine. Yo-Yo-Dine was a real thing, wasn't it, Tibor? With Parsons, wasn't that their rocket science lab was called Yo-Yo-Dine Industries, and then the movie Buckaroo Banzai had it. What else is real in that movie? Red lectoids, the oscillation overthruster. What else could possibly be real from that?
They look into future, then make movie.
And watch out for that Amazon delivery drone and the Amazon delivery guys, just like the milkman.
Remember that movie?
How did you get rid of him? How did you get rid of the milkman? There's no getting rid of him. Not in any way you folks would be prepared for. Nah, best you just let